Quick rule of thumb when you're buying a business or looking to search for a business is the multiple. So when you're going for SBA, which 95% of us will be using an SBA lender, feel free to reach out or DM me if you need a pre-qual or you need a contact for a referral for a loan broker that I use. He only gets paid if you close on a deal and he gets paid by the lender. But today I'm going to talk about multiples. So specifically, what multiples work with SBA lenders. When we talk about multiple, keep in mind, remember, the multiple is the difference between the purchase price and the profit. So when you take the profit times this multiple, you get the purchase price, right? So profit times multiple equals purchase price. The multiple is a sliding scale range of risk, okay? So at a 4x multiple, profit times 4 times, you're thinking of it being less risk than profit times 2 times, okay? Does that make sense? So 2 to 4x is really the sweet spot that you need to be landing in the SBA world. So if you're going to finance 80 to 90% of the deal with SBA debt, if it's within that 2 to 4 range, you're going to have more than likely a solid business. And that's a really general rule of thumb, but I'm going to show you exactly how this works out. So we're going to look at this business here. And a lot of people talk about septic pumping and portable toilet rental business. Like in all essence, this looks like a great business, right? 1.7 million in revenue, is doing 700K in profit, 42% margin. That alone right there is great. Love that it's 24 years old. I don't know a lot about Maine, but I could go figure out like how businesses operate really well in Maine. But in this type of business, it's very recession proof. Like this kind of stuff is very recurring. What I don't like is this 6.4x multiple. And let me show you why the 6.4 multiple doesn't work. So we're going to go to analyze the deal. Now we go into the deal calculator. If you guys have seen this before, like it plugs in all the numbers and it takes into account seller financing, the SBA limit, and then 10% down. So you can structure this in a couple of different ways. You don't have to change any of these terms. This is all really standard of like how much your taxes would be, the cash you want to leave in the bank. But here's the thing that I want you to focus on. So at a 6x multiple, that's your take home. If you structure it with SBA with 80% with SBA, 10% down, 10% seller financing, you don't make any money. The DSCR, and we've talked about this a lot, the lenders are going to want to see a DSCR of 1.25 or better. That's 1.1. So you immediately see why a 6x multiple doesn't work and at the purchase price, right? So at this purchase price of what they're asking for, it doesn't work. Now, if you start structuring it differently and putting more down payment, it can work. But that's why when you're looking at these deals and you're making quick analysis, a 6.4x multiple is not going to work. And that's why I like to stay between 2 to 4. Now, you can go up to 4.5x, but it is getting a little tighter. 5 and above really doesn't work, and that's a really quick rule of thumb.